morning, everybody. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. My usual content is travel vlogs, but I realized I never really introduced myself before. Whew. Okay, so today I just want to talk about who I am, what the heck I'm doing with my life. So if you don't know me, I'm Kaylee. I'm 23 and I'm traveling full-time with my boyfriend Nick. So some background about me. I'm originally from Maryland, but I was going to school in South Florida to study environmental science. I lived in Florida for a few years, and after I graduated, I got a full-time job at a science museum, which was actually pretty fun. I was taking care of the animals, so it was very like zookeeper vibes. It was a really cool job, but I just ultimately knew it wasn't my end game, and ultimately I want to pursue a career in conservation. So it was a cool job, but not something that I was super passionate about. My boyfriend Nick works in finance. He was working at Royal Caribbean when we lived in Florida. He has since gotten a fully remote job for a different company, which he loves. So summer 2023, my lease was ending, Nick's lease was ending, and I had the idea to leave the country before we signed a lease together. So Nick came around to the idea. We decided that we would spend 1 month in Costa Rica, and we really had no other plans in mind, no backups. It was kind of a now or never decision because we had no ties to stop us from doing it. So our leases were up and we just decided that we would go do something different for a little bit before we started a new lease. So I saved up what little money I could over the summer until I quit my job. I moved out of my apartment, I put all my stuff in a storage unit, and I left the country. There wasn't much to the plan other than move out and go to Costa Rica. So it didn't take long before we decided to continue our travel journey. Since we started all of this, we have been to 5 different countries and 4 different states: Costa Rica, Peru, Canada, around the US, Mexico, and now Panama. I do the majority of the travel planning, so I'll get into that if you're interested. We tend to stay about a month in each place. Airbnb gives a monthly rate if you stay at least 28 nights. So we just treat Airbnb as if it's rent. We keep to the budget that we would have if we were paying rent in Florida. We almost always choose our next destination based off of the cheapest flight. We don't choose the destination chooses us. I should also note that we're almost always last minute. Sometimes we're booking stuff 2 weeks out because we have just procrastinated of where to go next. So for example, last month we went to Mexico. We booked a one-way flight to Mexico City, and I knew I wanted to spend some time at the beach, but I didn't know which beach or where to go. We ended up in Cancun because Cancun Airport had such cheap flights leaving. Cancun would not have been my first pick just because it's so touristy and it's like a resort area, but like I said, we followed the cheap flights. So Cancun had cheap flights, that's where we go. And we ended up having so much fun there, so no regrets, it was great. So, you may be wondering, if you don't have a job, how are you not broke? I am. I spend my money very sparingly. Ultimately, Nick picks up the tab a lot of the time. I pay for my big expenses like my flights or excursions, and I usually always pay for our groceries. But Nick does cover a lot. And like I said, he is working remotely, so he's doing very well for himself. Me, not so much, but he's doing great. I found myself collecting money here and there. In December, I decided to sell my car, so that really replenished my bank account, but now I don't have a car. But I don't really need a car, so. I don't like being unemployed, believe it or not. It's pretty hard to find a fully remote job in environmental conservation. With that said, I do put a lot of energy into my YouTube videos, and it has become such a passion of mine. I love creating videos. I think it's so much fun. So yeah, a lot of my time and energy does go into that. And to be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. Just like almost all 20-something-year-olds, I think. I'm not exactly sure what career I want, or where I want to settle down, or when I want to settle down. But I try to take it day by day and just try to live in the moment. That's not to say I don't struggle with anxiety and imposter syndrome. I can be really hard on myself and worry that I'm not being responsible, or I should be working towards my career, or I should be doing the normal things. At the same time, I took a leap of faith to go see the world, and it's not something that I'll ever regret. So I try to remain positive and appreciate the opportunity that I have, because it is definitely an incredible opportunity. I'm young, a job will come, the money will return. I don't want to miss out on experiences because I think that I should be following the norm. I'll go back to being normal someday, I just don't know when that will be yet. With that being said, we are currently in Panama City, Panama. We are here for 3 weeks. It is so beautiful, it's giving me Miami vibes, but that's pretty much the past 8 months in a nutshell. Nick and I are having so much fun, and we're so excited to see where this little journey takes us. Thank you. What? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Thank you so much for watching. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I post a video at least once a week, so if you want to stay tuned on this adventure, subscribe. We are really all over the place, so you never know where we're gonna be next. Thank you, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Literally, the drilling drives me nuts.